Great old state of New York. Across the Hudson River. First time.
Keeping my eyes on the road, son.
Yeah, I know. I'm just panning to you. A little hard to see, but it's quite the bridge here. Right here's where it's all held together. There's a ferry out there. Big old boat going through the Hudson. That's it, we're almost to the end.
The Hudson River.
Took about 2.5 to 3 minutes to get over. It's a lot of bridge.
So a little lapse in videoing a lot of highway traffic, not worthy of any kind of video. Here we are cruising through Hartford, Connecticut, making our way. 91 is our highway at the moment, heading north. Found a site in New Hampshire. A little food stop in Connecticut at the Price Chopper. Little grocery store roach coach, Morrison style, before we get back on the road. Wow, Connecticut, it's expensive. $3.79, mid-grade. Welcome, Vermont. Yay.
You don't seem so excited.
Oh, eyes on the road.
Oh, it's zoomed in there too.
Cruising through the downtown area of Hanover. Approaching our next campsite destination, Store Pond Recreation Area. Getting very close to being able to set up camp again for the night before we get to our most northern destination of
Acadia National Park.
near Bahaba. So entering our site, wow, what a fantastic entry. And look at this, Jeeps galore. We are down F. That's us. And here we are at our site. What a sight. Oh, this is gonna be fun. We're here a short time, but we'll certainly enjoy our own little forest. Couple of still photos here. This was about a 9.5 hour drive. That was a long day on the road, and we chose this site just to break up our drive to Acadia. This is minutes from Dartmouth College. We had no idea. We literally drove right through the campus. We will for sure keep the Stores Pond Recreation Campground in mind for the future and camping in this area. It's a beautiful area, and the campground was quite nice. Yeah, so My first attempt at risotto. First of all, camping. Second of all, without butter. I don't know. I'll add a little bit of vegetable oil. I'm sure it's not going to be the same, but we are camping.
It'll turn out great. We've got all the beef tips going too. Come back later for part 2.
I'm sure it dished up. Ready. So, part 2 is the plating of our beef tips and risotto minus butter. A little bit of vegetable oil to see if that will make a difference. There we are.
I think it looks pretty
Beef
good.
tips and risotto.
Ready to chow down?
Let's chow down, Ian.
After this quick campfire meal, and yes, the risotto turned out pretty good. Boy, did the weather turn on us a few hours later.
Tough start to the AM this morning. Woke up to light to moderate rain at 5 a.m. Got a few more Z's in and then had to pack up in wetness. On our way to Acadia now via New Hampshire. First pit stop of the morning, Squam Lake, New Hampshire. Stopped at Squam Company Marketplace for a killer cup of coffee. Cool little town. We have just entered the famous town of Lake Winnipesaukee. Yes, even Maine's got corn. I believe the crop of the year is corn. Entering this really cool little town called Cornish, Maine. And I gotta make another pit stop. Another cup of joe in Cornish, Maine. Well, made our way through all these awesome small towns, jumping on a major highway 95 north, getting closer to Bar Harbor and Acadia, baby. And just like that, we find ourselves at our campsite, Blackwoods Campground, Acadia National Park. I'm sorry we don't have us entering the park through the welcome gate. It was just raining too hard to get any footage. Here's Ann checking out the ocean before we start setting up camp.
Our first night here at Acadia National Park. My dad insisted on having some clam chowder from where, Dad?
Bahaba.
There. Right on the fire. Bahaba, apparently. Alright. Thought we'd show you the setup for tonight. Got the Jeep over there. Got Mr. Bahaba's tent over here. Our table. And in between this little alcove, we got mine. Got the hammock right here. Big stack of firewood. Got the clam chowder going. And later,
What else we got on the menu?
we got some cod fillets.
Some great northern beans.
There you go. Get you some beans.
It's a good hearty meal.
And there's a lot of protein. Ooh, a little clam dip.
Peace. After a good meal from a long drive and some treats, the evening flew by. It was time to hit the sack. And boy, does it get light early. In fact, this is 5:30 in the morning. Any chance anybody knows what species of mushroom this is? We knocked out a nice breakfast for some good fuel before our first excursion in the park. We hung around camp for a little while, and that turned out to be a mistake. We didn't get out in the trails until about the noontime hour, and man, was it packed. We did our best to find some areas where we could take a couple of shots with each other. I brought plenty of camera equipment for the two of us to go out and shoot and enjoy this coastline on this side of the park. And boy, what a coastline it is. I feel like we did okay avoiding the larger crowds, getting down into some areas that most couldn't get to. When we had enough of that, it was time for us to check out downtown Bar Harbor. And that we did, finding these amazingly huge broiled oysters. The seafood in this area, as you can imagine, is endless, but these were absolutely delicious. Next up, we had to find some real lobster rolls, and that we did. More deliciousness. After that, we made our way down to the water and this awesome bayfront. In the background is what's referred to as the Porcupine Islands of Acadia National Park. I just love the capture of that fog rolling over. Another day has gone by. The next thing you know, I'm waking up grinding coffee beans. July 27th, the top of Beehive Trail in Bahaba. This place is quite amazing. What do you think, Ian?
It's a hike up here. Gotta climb a little, but it's great. It's worth it if you can do it.
What a day. Bahaba. It was going to be very difficult to video the hike up Beehive Trail. Here's a good handful of still images of our travels up. I hope you enjoy. Making our way down from Beehive Trail. What an experience this place has been. Fantastic. Climbing up the mountain was a bit rough. Definitely have to have your wits about you. What a blast. Beautiful country up here. Bar Harbor, Acadia National Park.
Good old Maine.
Lunchtime. The Bar Harbor Lobster Company. Bar Harbor is not hurting for tourism. Nor are they hurting the lobster. Oh, yummy. And here we are before the warm water.
Not huge ones, but like maybe a 2-pounder.
2.5 pounder. Just waiting. And here we are with the final product. The Bar Harbor lobster roll. Oh my. Only fitting to finish off our meal with some homemade blueberry pie. I better hit the trail again after this. After enjoying more amazing local food, we headed back to Blackwoods Campground. This is our last night here. We wanted to capture some more amazing views of the rocky coastline from this side. You just can't get enough of these views. Grabbing one more before the evening is over. An awesome morning here on the rocky coast at the Blackwoods Campground at Acadia National Park. It's my last morning here. And just getting some great shots in before we break down camp and move on. Thank you, Blackwoods, for 3 days, 3 amazing days. Wish it was longer. How'd you like to stay, Ian?
It was great. It's nice to be in an actual national state park for once, and you know, the views, what, 5-minute walk away, were phenomenal.
If that.
If 5 minutes, yeah.
Right to the Rocky Coast, absolutely amazing. If you have a chance to get here, do it.
Definitely do it.
On to the next site, Somers View, for one night. One more night in Acadia National Park. Peace. Not a lot of time was spent at the Tom's Sound Campground. Grabbed a few shots, checked this rig out. But our goal was to photograph this in the evening, the Bass Harbor Lighthouse. I think we did okay. Before you know it, it was the morning, a quick breakfast, and time to exit Acadia. Well, our night in Som's Sound View was solid. Decent campground, got a good shower in. Exiting Acadia today. What a great week we've had. Heading over to, or down to, Elliott, Maine, where my great friend Chris lives. Gonna pop in and surprise him with a tent in his backyard. Stay tuned. I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. This was part 2 of a 3-part series of the father-son camping trip. I'll leave you with a couple of these images, the lighthouse, Bar Harbor Bay, but this final one truly is my favorite scene of Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park. Look at that sunrise, 5:30 in the morning. Thank you again very much, and I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.